Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to a new episode of something we might be just calling Todd's Takes. I don't know if that's...
Todd's Takes.
Todd's Takes. Okay, we're going to go with Todd's Takes, at least for this episode here. And in this episode, what we're going to be doing is taking a look at a number of exciting new releases. Usually December tends to be a bit of a slow month because you got the holiday at the end of the month and manufacturers are kind of... I think they kind of plan around that, so they tend not to release terribly too much stuff during this month. But there are some gems, some exciting things to be looking forward to. And we're going to go ahead and start off talking about one of my favorite manufacturers and the kits that they produce, and that is going to be, of course, Bandai. These were a couple of kits that we originally saw at the Shizuoka Hobby Show way back in May of this year. So that was 7 months ago. Has it been 7 months ago? 8 months ago? It's somewhere around there. So back in May, when I saw these kits on display at the Bandai booth, I was thinking, oh my god, they're not releasing until December of this year. That seemed like such a long way away. But finally, December is finally here, so these kits are now actually released out into the wild, at least here in Japan. And the first one we're going to talk about is from the series G Quacks. I hope I pronounced that right always. And that is going to be the White Gundam. So this is basically this series version of the traditional RX-78 Gundam kit. So, but it's a unique looking kit, I should say. Definitely, yeah, it's not your grandfather's Gundam. That is definitely for sure. I've seen a lot of memes on the internet that it looks like a RX-78 that ate a very sour lemon and his face kind of just got sucked in by that sour effect. But it's a really unique looking kit. So I don't know if you guys remember the old Gunpla TV show that we used to do here at HobbyLink Japan. And one of the episodes towards the end of that series runs was when the G40th Gundam kit was released, the 1144th G40th Gundam kit. And during around that time, we did an episode where I had built basically like all of the 1144th scale RX-78 Gundam kits from the original one up until like the G40th, and we had like the real grade in there as well, just the whole lineup. So it's kind of fun that this White Gundam kit is releasing because that's like another one of the 1144th scale RX-78 style Gundam kits that I will be able to add to that row of granddaddy kits because they're all kind of related there. So really looking forward to that one. I do have that one on order myself, but my order has not arrived yet. To go along with the White Gundam, we also have the HG Char's Zaku, also from the G-Quack series. And this one is also a rather unique take on the traditional Zaku kit. Although I will say, compared to the White Gundam, this one kind of, at least in the head and the body and the arms and the shoulders, looks very much like a more traditional Zaku than the White Gundam does to an RX-78. But the legs are a bit different. It looks like he's been skipping leg days. They're a bit skinny there on the lower half, but it's still a kind of interesting model. This one actually might be the one that I was looking forward to be released most here in December. And this is from the series Iron-Blooded Orphans, although it's probably one of the side series from Iron-Blooded Orphans. And that is going to be called the HG Gundam Zagen. Or is it Zagen or is it Zagen? I hope I'm pronouncing that one right. But I love this suit because I really like the more traditionally bulky style looking Gundam suits. And this is at least from the Iron-Blooded Orphan series, I think this is probably one of the most bulky suits from that series to be released today. And I just love that he's got these two giant shields on the sides of both arms and what looks to be kind of like some knife-looking type blades on the sides of those shields. And he's got really nice bulky shoulders and the waist, and his legs are like properly proportioned, I want to say, compared to like that skinny legged looking Zaku that I just talked about. Like this one, just like from top to bottom to the sides, just everything looks properly proportioned, and the feet as well. You don't have these really dinky kind of skinny feet that they do on a lot of these kits. So this Gundam Zig, and definitely this is one of the ones, probably the one that I was looking forward to Bandai releasing mostly this month. We have a couple of other kits. We've got also from 30-minute missions. These will be releasing towards the end of December. 30-minute missions. They've got something called the Extended Armament Vehicle, the Boost Wild Bike version. So I'm a bit into motorcycles myself at the moment, and this is basically a 30-minute missions motorcycle. So this is going to be 1/144 scale, and you'll be able to position any of your 30-minute mission kits sitting on this vehicle like they are going to be riding a motorcycle. So that's kind of a really cool looking item to look forward to. And then moving on to the last Bandai release that we'll talk about for this month, it's another Pokemon Plamo kit. So they're continuing on with this series. We've got the Mega Rayquaza, which will be releasing towards the end of this month. So that's going to be it for the exciting Bandai releases for this month of December 2025. But of course, that means also next month is January of 2026. And what do we have to look forward to that is going to be releasing in January of next month? It was the large big ticket item, the most talked about item that was on the Bandai booth back in the Shizuoka Hobby Show, as well as the Tokyo Hobby Show, which we just went to back in October, 2 months ago. And that is, of course, the new Perfect Grade new Gundam, which will be finally releasing next month. But unfortunately, yeah, that and a lot of the other Bandai kits, the stock levels are going to be a bit limited, so they might be a bit hard to find for some time, but that will be something exciting to look forward to. There was one item that just went up for pre-order the other day on our site. It's something else that we saw both at the Shizuoka Hobby Show as well as the Tokyo Hobby Show. And yeah, this one just went up for pre-order. It's not going to be releasing until August, I believe it was, of 2026. Speaking about seeing things in advance and then having to wait quite of a long time for them to actually release. This one is going to be from Max Factory, and it was an Evangelion kit from, and it is the, I don't know, how do we say this, the AAA Wonder? Is that the correct way to say the AAA Wonder? It's the AA Wonder, but yeah, when they had this on display at the Shizuoka Hobby booth, just because of how long and how wide this kit is, they couldn't put it like on a proper flat shelf like they do the other items that they have up for display. Instead, because of the size of this kit, they just kind of had it like mounted sideways on the wall of the booth. This thing is a massive 51 centimeters long and like 40 centimeters wide, and it is a really cool looking spaceship style looking craft. So this kit just went up for pre-order the other day, and not only is it going to be rather large, but one thing that I thought was quite interesting when I finally saw it go up for pre-order is you would think, given that size of this kit, you would expect a massive kit like this is going to probably also come with a massive price tag, right? Something you would expect. But no, this giant kit is only up for order, and it's only 9,000 yen. So given the size of this thing, that seems to be that is a really decent price. I don't know what else you could say, but yeah, that was a bit shocking for me to just see just how cheap they're going to be offering this kit for sale, for order. So yeah, only 9,000 yen, you get this giant Evangelion kit. So a really cool looking kit. If you are at all interested in Evangelion or any kind of spaceship style kits, definitely I would recommend checking this kit out. But yeah, it's not going to be releasing until August of next year, so you do have quite a bit of a wait for that one. All right, moving on to actual proper scale related stuff that is going to be releasing in the month of December 2025 here. And the first one I'm going to talk about is also another kit that we saw up for display it was not at Shizuoka, but it was at the Tokyo Hobby Show. And that is going to be from Hasegawa. And speaking about motorcycle kits, this was the Kawasaki GPZ, or Z if you were from the UK, 900R. This is the 1984 version, A1. So this bike was made really famous because this was like the first kind of foray by a Japanese manufacturer and kind of the bike that really started the whole sport bike movement. So before this bike, you had like a bunch of Japanese domestic bikes were just kind of open naked style bikes with no sporty kind of fairings. The engine and everything was just out in the open in the air. But the GPZ 900R introduced like the fairings and everything for this for a bike, and became the sport bike. And this bike was also made famous by the movie Top Gun, because this was the bike that Tom Cruise was riding around on in San Diego in that movie. So a really iconic motorcycle, and we are getting a brand new toolkit of this bike from Hasegawa. Hasegawa's been on quite a roll doing a lot of new toolkits for cars, as well as now some motorcycles as well. So really exciting stuff to look out for. I actually have this one on order myself, so I'm looking forward to this one coming out. Also from Hasegawa, the only other Hasegawa one I'll talk about for release this month is not going to be a model kit, but it is going to be a tool. And this tool has been quite popular in orders for the previous smaller version, as well as the now medium, a bit more larger version they are releasing this month. And that is going to be the Hasegawa Parts Picker. So it's basically a little pen-looking stick type thing that you have, and it's got like a bit of a sticky type of end to it, which is going to allow you to pick up really small parts without having to use your fingers, and be able to kind of position those parts where you want to without actually having to touch them, or use tweezers. Sometimes tweezers can have like the same problems when you're using fingers. You kind of pinch these small parts, and maybe that pressure of trying to like pinch the small part, and it just goes flying out of your hands or flying out of the tweezers, and then it gets lost and you're searching for it. So it can always be a hassle. So these kind of sticky parts picker tools from Hasegawa are quite useful. So definitely you might want to check those out as well. All right, speaking of, going on over to Aoshima. So Aoshima has a couple of different, mostly just reissued kits that are going to be releasing this month. One of which is going to be the Honda CB750 Dream from 1969. So Aoshima released this kit, I believe it was 2 years ago, the CB750. Their CB750 kit was also a brand new tool kit. So this kit is rather recent, a rather new tool. Now we're getting it being released in a different color version as well. So that's another exciting one to look forward to. And then also this one we saw at the hobby show as well. Over on the car side, they're calling it the Bomex FD3S RX799, and if you look at the graphics on this kit, the design, you kind of might recognize it, although they have it listed as a Bomex kit. I believe this was the actual kind of decals, the actual coloring of the RX-7 that was in the original Fast and the Furious movie that was drove by Dom. So kind of interesting kit. They had a number of kits at the Aoshima booth that were actually labeled as Fast and Furious or Wild Speed here in Japan. So I don't know why this one was not labeled as Wild Speed, but maybe just because of licensing issues or whatnot. But it's a really cool looking design, I have to say. Oh, actually, there are a couple more Aoshima kits that I did want to talk about this month. And these are going to be from the 1/32nd scale series of snap kind of easy to build car kits. Finally, they are going to be releasing the DC2 Integra Type R, and they got 4 different colors for this kit they are going to be releasing this month. So yeah, the famous Honda DC2 Integra is finally making its way to this easy to build snap fit kit lineup that Aoshima has been doing. Many years ago during the Gunpla TV days, we built the very first Aoshima 32nd scale snap kit that they made for this series, which was an old, not old, but it seems kind of old now, a K car here in Japan called the Suzuki Hustler. So that video should still be up somewhere on YouTube, but that was how many years ago? At least 7 years ago, maybe at this point. So Aoshima's been doing this lineup of snap together kit cars for quite some time now. So it's kind of fun to see them continue on and do more different cars. They had the Volkswagen Beetle release recently a few months ago, which was kind of quite cool to see. Now we get the Integra. I never had the DC2 Integra myself. I never drove this one. I had the generation before this Integra when I was last living in the US. It was a really nice car. the Integra 2 ride. Okay, moving on to, let's see, another scale thing that is going to be releasing this month. At least it's scheduled to be releasing this month. I'm kind of curious if it actually will be releasing this month or not. It might be delayed because I really haven't heard much about it lately. But yeah, from the company Revell, they have the 24th scale Lamborghini Rivuelto, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. It's one of the new Lamborghini kits, so it's kind of cool to see Revell actually out there is still making brand new tool car kits, and this kit is, at least on our site, for now, scheduled to be released here in the month of December 2025, so that's really cool to see. Hopefully Revell continues on to do a number of these kits from the likes of Lamborghini and what else. Revell the other year did the new C8 Corvette kit, but unfortunately they did it in 1/25th scale, not 1/24th scale, plus I think it was like a snap together type thing, so I would really love if they were to someday go back and make that C8 Corvette in a proper 24th scale kit with glue and whatnot. But also from the company HMA. Now this is kind of veering off more towards the sci-fi side of things, although it is kind of based in reality as well. But this is from the anime series Patlabor. We've talked about this a number of times on this YouTube channel before, but this is not like one of those police mobile suit robot type things. Instead, this is an F-15 Kai Eagle. So that's kind of really cool to see because HMA have done a number of these kind of more sci-fi-ish what-if style aircraft kits, but all the previous releases that they've done for these have been in the smaller 1/44th scale. One thing that I found really interesting, what made me excited about this kit in particular, is finally they're doing these kits in a proper 1/72nd scale, which is the good scale you want to do if you're kind of more into the aircraft modeling type of thing. So that's really, really interesting to see for this kit. I'm curious about checking it out myself. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, this one is, at least as of now, still scheduled to release in 2020 or in December of this year. So basically they took a regular F-15 kit, or F-15 aircraft, but then they added some canards on the front sides, and then the tail section kind of looks like it was copied from like an F-20 or from an F-22, and same with the jet exhaust as well. So instead of having the straight up tails, they're kind of cantered, tilted outwards. So a really interesting looking kit. I would suggest you check this out. Unfortunately, it is on order stop here at the moment, but that might change after it is released. So be sure to check that notify me button for this item or any of the other ones that if they happen not to be open for order at the moment. And then if we get more stock or we can take more orders, we will let you know by email. All right, and the last two kits that I'm going to talk about here today is going to be a bit more on the wacky side of things, not very. Technically, it is kind of a proper scale, but maybe not the type of thing that most of you out there are kind of curious to look at. But yes, this is going to be from Kotobukiya. So these are going to be kits that you don't have to paint like a Gundam kit. You can just build it and snap it together. When you go to a number of like family, they call them family restaurants here in Japan, but basically that's your kind of restaurant like Coco's or Denny's and that type of stuff. Sometimes instead of having actual people deliver the food to your table for you, they'll load the food onto these robots that then move it over to your table, and then you just take it from the robot. And they have these really, really cool ones called the Bella Botch, which has like a face that looks more like a cat, and they've put some like cat ears on it. They're really cute. I've seen them around. But yeah, the Kotobukiya is releasing some, they've released these before, but now they're doing a different version. This is called the Bella Bot Pro, and it's available in both white as well as black. So what differs between this Bella Bot and the previously released Bella Bots is now it's got this giant kind of iPad-looking touchscreen on the body of the Bella Bot, which is probably going to show advertisements and stuff as they move around the restaurants. But I haven't actually ever seen any of these Bella Bot Pros, only the older style versions without the iPad looking thing on the body of it. But Kotobukiya is already out there making model kits for these new Bella Bots. So that's kind of quite interesting to see. So that's probably going to do it for the look at some exciting new kits that we'll be releasing in this month of December of 2025. And then again, of course, as I mentioned earlier, next month, January 2026, we do have that perfect grade new Gundam as well as the lighting unit for it, which we'll be releasing. So looking forward to that one. Don't know if there's anything else I really need to say for this video. Thank you guys very much for tuning into this video. Thank you very much for your support. Please remember, we are brought to you by HobbyLink Japan, HLJ.com. So if you are interested, check out our site. And thank you again. Have a great New Year, everybody.